Let me start by saying this is not going to be an unbiased video. If you're looking for a genuine analysis of reality shifting, this is not the video for you. So reality shifting became popular kind of, I think, summer 2020-ish kind of area. At least that's when I started hearing about it. And honestly, when I first heard about it, I was super, super excited about it. It's been said to kind of have arose out of being a side effect of the pandemic, of people being so stuck in their homes and so isolated that they kind of needed a way of escaping to another world, and reality shifting became a thing. At least that's my understanding of it anyway, and how it came about. I could be wrong. Side note, if you are a reality shifter and you like reality shifting, I'm not here to knock that. I'm glad you found your thing. I'm just here to talk about how much it knocked me down and how awful it made me feel after my whole experience with it. I also may not have all the information. Any information on reality shifting that has come out after early 2021, I probably don't know it, because I've just kind of been like, nope, don't like it, don't enjoy it, don't want to see it on my social media. That did not stop the TikTok algorithm from giving me a TikTok about it though, that made me want to make this video entirely. This TikTok I saw was a maladaptive daydreamer saying to other maladaptive daydreamers how amazing reality shifting is and how it's made everything better, and they feel so, they've been able to travel into their paracosms and they've had everything, and yes, you should do it, it's so fun, nothing's ever gone wrong, it's like the best solution, it's the best thing that could ever happen to their maladaptive daydreaming. And that is total crap. Do not recommend reality shifting to maladaptive daydreamers. Maladaptive daydreaming is something that you can't really stop doing anyway. It's practically shifting. You're spending so much of your normal day, your actual reality time, in another world. So it's the same thing. So encouraging reality shifting is encouraging maladaptive daydreamers to spend more time immersively daydreaming in their paracosms, which is generally not helpful for anyone. Even if the goal of the maladaptive daydreamer is not to stop daydreaming entirely or lessen their time that they spend daydreaming and they're just kind of chilling where they are, you don't tell a maladaptive daydreamer something that will encourage them to daydream more. And let's assume for this scenario that reality shifting is real. How does spending an extended amount of time in another reality improve any aspect of your life in reality that you inevitably have to come back to? You can spend years in your other reality, in the reality, what desired reality or whatever, but you have to come back, and you have to deal with the consequences of leaving for so long when you come back. And don't tell me the oh, well, I've scripted 10 years in my desired reality to be 1 second in real life kind of thing, because no, that's not how this works. Reality shifting isn't real. First thing, most people aren't shifting into made-up worlds inside their heads, into paracosms. They're shifting into already established fictional worlds, like Harry Potter, like My Hero Academia, like actual worlds that aren't their own, but are parts of TV shows, books, and movies. And those worlds can be paracosms, but it doesn't mean that the maladaptive daydreamer or the reality shifter created the original world. The world was still created by the author of the work it's from. Why would you be the only reality shifter present in those worlds? If I reality shifted to Harry Potter, like the hundreds of other people that reality shifted to Harry Potter, where are they? We're all going to the same desired reality. Why is it only I'm there? I get it if you're reality shifting to your own world that you made up, because nobody else is going to have access to that reality. But if it's a massively popular piece of fiction, everybody knows about it, and everyone could potentially reality shift to the same place, but there's never any reality shifters don't see each other, and they all date the same boys, and they all have the same friends, and it doesn't make sense. To me, it sounds like they're all maladaptive daydreaming. In my entire time on the internet, I've only ever heard of one maladaptive daydreamer successfully shifting. I truly believe that maladaptive daydreamers can't reality shift because we're doing it already. Because reality shifting is just very immersive daydreaming. I have fallen asleep daydreaming about my paracosms on multiple occasions, and I have never woken up in my paracosm. I have the most detailed version of that world that could possibly exist in my head. I know every detail about that world, and when I daydream about it and then I fall asleep to usually music, it'll usually, because I'll be daydreaming, I still wake up in my own bed every morning. Maladaptive daydreamers would have been shifting long before it got popular in the summer of 2020. There is even a study on reality shifting by Sommer himself saying that lots of the symptoms and aspects of reality shifting is extremely similar to maladaptive daydreaming. He put reality shifting on a scale from like normal daydreaming out to maladaptive daydreaming. He was placed that on the scale. But overall, reality shifting seems harmless. There's no way it could like cause damage to people or anything, right? Like, it's just someone who wants to escape reality so bad that they feel like they have to go to another reality entirely. And then when people who are already have been doing that for their entire lifetimes then hear about this miracle cure that they can finally go and do the one thing that they've wanted to do more than anything else in the entire world, which is live in their paracosms, there's a way to do that. It never works for them. Reality shifting for me was a last resort. I had heard about it long before I started doing anything with it, before I started trying it, but my mental health took such a dip that I was like, I don't even care if it's not real. I have to do it because I physically cannot stand being in reality anymore. I had been writing about my paracosms and my paras for quite a while. Most of it was online, but if it was anything was physical, it was in this scribbler. I have pages upon pages of notes about my paracosms in here, and I wrote all of this way before I ever thought about reality shifting. This book has a more detailed script in it than I bet most reality shifters who have successfully shifted, because this is years of planning and writing and daydreaming in one place. So when I heard you really only need one page of script on the phone or something to permanently go into your paracosm, it doesn't even need to be that detailed, but more detailed the better. I thought this book full of detail would be more than enough to get me there. But just to be safe, I wrote a script. Just to be safe. Just so that nothing could be confused when I actually shifted. It's 3 pages long. 4 pages, I think. 4 pages long. And I cried the whole time while I wrote it, because I was honestly the most helpless I'd ever been in my entire life, and I needed this to work more than anything. I tried for probably at least a month to shift, and it never worked. And when I finally stopped trying and I realized that it was hopeless, I genuinely was the most heartbroken I've ever been in my entire life. It wasn't even fun to daydream anymore. The one thing I had used as an escape for my entire life taunted me almost, because everybody else on the internet could do it, but maladaptive daydreamers couldn't. The people who probably needed it the most. It was a sensation that I wouldn't wish on any maladaptive daydreamer ever. And unfortunately, I probably don't have to, because I bet there are lots of maladaptive daydreamers who felt the exact same way I did. So when I see videos that are by maladaptive daydreamers telling maladaptive daydreamers that shifting is a viable option, it makes me so mad, because it means that there are people who haven't had their hopes crushed like I did, and they likely will now because of someone who is in their community that they trust, and they're going to be blindsided by the truth. So if any maladaptive daydreamers out there are thinking about making a video saying reality shifting is good, you should do it, please consider how much you personally daydream. Because some people likely are probably have been shifting their entire lives, and they're going to be hurt when they realize that they can't physically daydream more, and you're telling them there's a way to make it feel more immersive than they've already been doing their entire life. And there's some people who are just more immersive daydreamers than others. There's some people who just recently discover how immersive they can daydream, and they think they're shifting realities. They think a clone is not just a dissociated version of themselves. And the people who have already figured out those limits on themselves, the people who are turning to reality shifting, they're at a last resort. And telling people, lying to them about this when they're so desperate for an answer is just cruel. Reality shifting, I can't imagine it's healthy, because maladaptive daydreaming is not healthy. So if you're reality shifting, that's likely just some form of daydreaming, whether it be immersive daydreaming or maladaptive daydreaming. That's still something that's not healthy. And I'm no scientist, I could be wrong, but when I see an immersive daydreaming phenomenon like reality shifting, where you're physically immersed in another world and the only people who can't seem to do it are maladaptive daydreamers who are already so immersed in their own worlds, that there's got to be a connection there. Especially when the methods to reality shift are something that maladaptive daydreamers are already doing monthly, if not weekly, if not daily. But yeah, anyway, now I'm bummed out. I hate talking about this topic. It's just something I wish didn't exist. Let's just say that. But yeah, thank you for reanalyzing this step with me on my never-ending journey, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!